welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and we are on the fourth of the diamonds and rainbows. And yeah, so this one is probably closest to the original in the sense that um, so the original had an extra zigzag line between some of the boxes, and then other places it didn't. And had I noticed that when I had first started working on the thing itself, I would have probably have left it out. And while I was coming up with the 5 different ways of doing this, I decided that one of the versions had to be the version I would have created had I foreseen what I thought was wrong with it. And so this is that version. So this is inspired by pattern 94521 on BraceletBook, and yeah, it was a little bit easier than some of the previous ones. Um, the green kind of goes over top of the black and stuff. So there was a lot of elements to it that actually makes this one of the easier patterns. So if you're looking to make one of these and you're not sure which one, it might be this one, honestly. Um, Not so bad. It still has a lot of zigzags. It's still a difficult to make kind of bracelet. Even just starting it, you can see like I kind of the way I sort of bounced around a bit and trying to get the strings in has to do with the fact that it's it's a bit tricky to try to get everything to kind of line up and do what you want it to do. So yeah, and keeping it straight. It turned out okay. I got it in my hands. It turned out all right. I like it. Oh, and we're back to black string again. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, nice and dark. So it's a really a lot like the original, and I have the original. Can you tell the difference? Yeah, I mean, it's a subtle difference. It really, I don't suspect many people would know um, why these two are different. I can see it, but then again, I know what I'm looking for. I know the part that's bothersome or whatever for to me. So yeah, um, but the average person would probably just look at these and be like, "Yep, they're the same thing." Hang on, grab some water here. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're a stickler for things being right, I guess, then yeah, this is the one. Although alternatively, I could have um, done it where I put the zigzag line on above, above and below where the boxes are, so that way it was a consistent thing. And that was my problem with the original was it's just not consistent. You do it once, and then you don't do it. Like I don't. That didn't make sense to me. So, yeah. And okay, so this one still sped up the same amount as the others. It went a little bit faster, not terribly. That could be just because I'm practiced in making these things now, so that could easily be the thing. I have no idea. But it did feel a little bit easier, honestly. It did feel. I still spend a good time looking at the pattern on the screen because it's not um, super intuitive. Although it wasn't as bad. Like I said, it wasn't as bad as some of the other ones. It does have a sense of you know kind of working out right, and I managed to sort of get things in the right order so that way like the orange comes down, then the red does the thing. Like so, some of that element of like kind of segmenting it kind of worked out a little bit easier. I can't say why. I don't know. Um, again, maybe I'm just getting used to it. I don't want to give you guys false hopes and thinking that, you know, that these things will just kind of come to you. It does do a weird thing. You see how there's two blacks on the side and then this black comes down and whatever? Like there's a bit of like a weird shift in the balance of how the colors and stuff, because you would expect these things to be like black then a color, then black then a color, black then a color, but it sort of, in order to get the colors where they need to be, it doesn't necessarily work out like that. So it kind of is what it is. Sort of. And like when I think back, like when I was making these patterns, I really was trying my best to try to make them go as easily as possible, as few zigzags as possible, try to get this, you know, straight lines and stuff to it. Yeah, and it's still tough. It's rough. Yeah, I'll be glad. There's just one more of these, and then I can move on to some other stuff. I've got some plans to do the blindsided creations, and I was given a pattern that somebody wants me to try to work out, which is a monstrously big undertaking. So yeah, I'm kind of kind of like wowed by this notion that I'm gonna try this bracelet. But I met the artist, and yeah, he's pretty cool. So yeah, it'll be a thing. I don't know, kind of something to look forward to, guys. If you, especially if you're really into like bigger patterns that appear pretty complicated, but I have a feeling that this one is kind of a little bit easier. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a big project. That's all I can say. It's a tough one. So yeah, kind of looking forward to that. I wasn't at first. I was, to be honest, I was not looking forward to it at first. At first, I was just like, nope, that's a little much. But I guess I've psyched myself up. So yeah. Same with these projects, like just doing this. Like at first, this whole idea of doing 5 of these things seemed like a crazy, you know, am I sure I want to do it kind of thing. But in the end, I'm coming out with, you know, 6 cool bracelets in all, you know, because the first one from the Blindside Creations plus 5. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. And then they'll all be in my shop. You can take your choice of which one or ever one you like, or you can try to make it yourself. I mean, that's always an option as well, I guess. So yeah. This is, I wouldn't blame you if you decided, you know what, paying a few bucks is so much easier than trying to make this. I wouldn't blame you. So yeah, I'm not sure how far. I think that's kind of coming up on the halfway point, maybe. Yeah, give or take. So yeah, I've kind of, you know, this whole series, I've kind of talked a lot about what goes into these and what I thought about it and stuff, and so it's a little bit redundant, um, but yeah, here we are. I appreciate you guys hanging around. Like, if you're still watching these, like, that's awesome. Again, I wanted content for the playlist of the making it. Um, the is it called making it? I think it is. The playlist of me actually making bracelets, because I've been told that some people like to actually have these playing while they are making a bracelet, and I thought that seems cool, you know. So I wanted to have a. There was only, I don't know, a few in there, so trying to add to that list. So yeah, this is coming up on the halfway point. This diamond coming in from the left is the halfway. Oh, and you can tell the blacks do full length rows. They don't have to like change directions during the thing. They actually connect. So yeah, that's another bonus of this one is the fact that those do actually go all the way down. Um, so yeah, that kind of helps to straighten things out, keep things right. I mean, it's not perfectly straight. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty straight. I do like a little element of showing that it was made by a human and not a machine. I'm not. Um, I know that there's some people who really agonize over every single knot. I am not that person. I kind of crank these things out, and I like it to have a little, you know, less than perfect sort of look to it. Even even my big projects have, an element of, looking man-made. So that's just me. I know that there are perfectionists out there who just the thought of that would drive them insane. Um, and I get it. That's a thing too. So yeah, if you whichever side of the fence you're on, leave that in the comments. I'm curious. I'd like to see, are there more perfectionists or are there more casual nodders out there? I'm genuinely curious. And um, while we're here, while I'm thinking, um, I do want to remind you guys and that this is all made possible because of my Patreon supporters. The cameras, the microphone, this kind of stuff, this all costs. And even if it's just a little bit, it helps towards getting things. This camera here, I want to replace. So that's kind of like the next thing that I'm saving up for is to get a new camera for that. Because right now I'm not monetized on YouTube yet. So it's really between that and selling bracelets, it's the only real income for this channel. So yeah, thank you guys so much for that. And if you want to help out but you don't have the means, just hit like, that, or leave a comment. Those things can actually go a long ways to helping YouTube think that my channel is worth showing to more people. So yeah, that would be awesome as well. So thank you. So let's see, we are well past the halfway point. This is the diamond kind of down here. Then there's another one on the right, and then there's the one on the left, and then just a teeny bit on the right. So yeah. And I don't know if you can tell by the whole nodding, but like I had really kind of like dialed in a system to this. Like if you compare, as I'm going down, how I'm like which knots are first and what I'm doing. I kind of really dialed this thing in to a system of getting it accomplished. So yeah, I was kind of a little bit surprised with myself, but at the same time, it's sort of what I do. I try to look for the easiest path to completion, and then go with that, like every time if possible. So yeah, this is it is just a really pretty bracelet. Honestly, it is a really pretty, and this would look really good with a fade if you went from like a dark to light shades of a color. You know, that would look really cool as well. Like the rainbow thing is fun, um, but there's a lot more stuff I think you could do with something like this. Yeah, you could do let's say you do a fade of blue and have the instead of the black you do a white. You know, that would be a really good look. Or reds with a white would be another really good look. So yeah, if you're looking for inspiration, yeah, there's some ideas for you right there. So yeah, so now you got me thinking about it. I'm kind of like, maybe I should make one of those. You know, we'll see. It depends. Between making these videos and stuff, it seems like I don't have a lot of time to just go randomly like think of a pattern and run with it. But it's not a bad idea. I kind of like the idea, like a reds and white. So, yeah. So yeah, this is one of the last ones on the left, and then there's like the little rainbow zigzag, and then it goes into the next time. But yeah, you can see like the red, orange, and yellow are all three of those are together, which sort of seems weird um, in a bracelet that's alternating, that you would have all the colors right next to each other, but it works. You can see it totally, for whatever reason, that works out just fine. One of those things that just kind of, it almost just doesn't make sense, right? But yeah, hey, I had to work out the pattern to make it fit what I was making, and it did. Oh, you might notice too, I'm working kind of, I kind of getting away from the clip. Like honestly, I if left to my own devices, I work closer to the clip. But these videos, I kind of want you to be able to see which direction the pattern and stuff is going. So I am kind of working further away from it than I normally would. Um, and I know I mentioned that like several times. If you haven't heard me say that before, like this, that it really is a thing. And it's, I want you guys to be able to see kind of what's going on, because I know like seeing how I hold my hands and stuff, like that's impossible, especially at this speed. But at least you can get a feel for like what knots in what order, and how I get it from the start to the end, because that might come in handy. Like if you're trying to make this yourself and you're wondering like, I kind of want to follow the path that I did, it's right here. You can actually see how what order, what I'm doing, the whole thing. So yeah, last diamond. Yeah, see, like the red and the black, like those strings are done now. That's why I kind of hit there, like shift way off to the side. Like there's little clips down on my board towards the bottom, so those just got like thrown off to the sides. So yeah. Just a little bit more. So if you haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe. If you watch this much, you obviously like the channel. You should subscribe. And yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this series. I've had some fun making these things, so yeah, I really do hope you like it. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.